The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Welcome to Artist Corner for this week. I am so pleased and proud to welcome Kendall to our Art Corner. I have just met this lovely young woman here, and as you can tell, or maybe not tell, I'm sitting here petting this lovely flower that she's created, and there's some beautiful pieces of art hanging behind her that represent some of the things that she does. And I am so enamored with this art form, and I'm so happy to welcome you to Artist Corner.
Thank you so much.
So tell me a little bit about what it is that I'm petting, like a little like it's a cat. But so tell me about your art form.
Yeah, so this is called rug tufting. It's one of my favorite art forms. I do a lot of art. I always have. But once I discovered rug tufting, I kind of went headfirst into it. And haven't looked back since.
Awesome.
So this piece here, this one has a little hanger on the back, which you could hang on your wall. So the smaller pieces are more geared toward, wall pieces, whereas the ones on the back of me here, those are more for the floor.
Okay.
This one, the alien one, does have a hook on it, so you could hang it on the wall if you wanted, or you could put it on the floor.
These are fabulous. I think this is just an awesome. I'm looking at this as an old hippie chick. These were the flowers that used to be all over everybody's bedroom. So if you're of a certain age, you're going to know what these are all about. So tell me about what you use to do the tufting. It doesn't feel like wool, but so tell me about this. And I see you've brought some here. So.
Yeah, so this is the one that I'm using currently. It's an acrylic 4. I get these at pretty much any store that sells yarn.
Okay.
You can use other yarn materials such as wool if you'd like. I personally prefer the acrylic. I just think it's easier to work with. I can kind of see my end results quicker when you use the acrylic yarn.
Okay.
But I use a lot of materials doing rug tufting. There's literally so many materials here. My favorite one, and the most important,
love this,
is this beauty here. It's my tufting gun.
Okay.
This one does loop pile and cut pile.
Okay.
So the loop pile ones, pretty much, it's self-explanatory as like they wouldn't be cut at the end, they would just be loops.
Okay.
But all of these here that I have today are all the cut pile ones.
Okay.
And then other materials that I use. So I have this frame, which my friend just built for me,
wow,
which is going to make my rug tufting so much bigger.
Oh, absolutely. Wonderful.
Right now, as you can see, I'm doing the smaller pieces,
right,
but now that I have this one, I can go larger. So very important thing to have is your cloth, your tufting cloth. You can use primary tufting cloth, monk's cloth. I prefer the primary tufting cloth. And then, so to work your tufting gun, you have these little materials here. These are threaders, we call them.
I was going to say, it looks like a giant needle threader.
Exactly what it is. So you just take this little guy here, and then you thread your yarn right through. It's pretty small, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on camera, but right at the top up here is where you would thread that through.
That's phenomenal.
So that's that part of it. And then I also want to mention that you should definitely wear a mask if anybody's going to get into this. This is a good thing to have with you, just to prevent yourself from breathing in all those fibers, especially when you're shaving your rug down after the fact. You can get a lot of those in your lungs, which is not good. So this is my shears that I use. I use the shears here. And then I also use these scissors. These are fabric scissors, so they work beautifully.
Wonderful. So your tufting gun, how does that work? I assume that do you start out all of your projects with a square piece of fabric, and then you do your design like you would do your flowers, and then you trim it after?
Yeah, so there's a few different ways you could do it. The process of this is a lot of fun. You can get it done, I would say depending on the size, you can get one done in about like 4 hours or so.
Wonderful.
But so pretty much what you're gonna do is you're gonna start off with just a blank canvas like this.
Okay.
And then from here, you're going to tighten it on as tight as you can to that frame. You'll use a projector. I personally use a projector. You could just draw your design right onto your fabric, freehand if you would like. Keep in mind it does go backwards. So if you draw something that is facing one way, it will end up being the opposite way. So you got to make sure you flip your image. So then you have your tufting gun. So once you have your image either traced or freehanded, you just use your tufting gun. You obviously thread it first, go slow. I always recommend doing like your outline of your shapes first. It kind of like gives you like a good barrier to know, to separate your colors. Like you really want to make sure that you have that nice fine line in between your colors.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. Now, will you work your frame standing up, or do you lay it down when you do, or do you do both, or what's your preferred? Because I'm looking here, going, if it was me, I would probably stand and do it rather than trying to work over it. That's a large frame.
Depending on where you're at on the frame, like sometimes I'll sit down when I'm doing like the lower part of the frame, but it's always upright. So just as it is here, upright at all times.
Awesome. Can you use like an embroidery frame, or is that not going to get this tight enough, or like a quilting frame?
To be honest, I haven't tried it, so I don't want to say no. It's possible, but I personally haven't tried it.
I'm just curious because I'm looking, going, if somebody wanted to try, if they were just starting out, maybe a large quilting frame. There are some people that, you know, they're always up on eBay and things like that. People want to sell them because they don't use them anymore, but this may be a way for people to get that, because you can crank it tight enough. I'm assuming that you need some tension on your fabric.
Yes, you want it to be as tight as you can get it.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. Does the tufting cloth come in different sizes?
It does.
Like when you cross stitch, it comes in different sizes. So
yeah,
same thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool.
Do you want me to tell you more about the process?
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Please do.
So once you have your tufting, you go crazy, you get your design done.
Yep.
And then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to use some glue. So this is the glue that I use. It's a Roberts glue.
Okay.
So you put that right all along the back of it. I use gloves for this part just because you can get in between all the pieces and make sure that it really stays in there as good as it can.
Okay.
So this is a fun part. It's very satisfying.
Oh, that's really
cool. And then
cool.
once that dries, you want to let it dry for about a day.
Okay.
And then you'll just cut your rug out. And then this is where you get to see some exciting stuff happen, because you get to see the shape actually take place. So this is the backing that I use. And then, so you're going to put your rug over the backing. You want to measure it out, cut out your backing. And then essentially what you want to do is get your backing as close to cut off as close to the edges of the rug as you can.
Okay.
And then from there, I use a hot glue gun. You're gonna hot glue gun the whole back. This one in particular does have a hook.
Okay.
I use the hot glue there, and then I also put a piece of bias tape over it just to kind of extra secure it in. That was a learning curve when I started, because I wasn't using that bias tape, and I noticed it would come out after a while. Yeah. So I think it's been a good solution so far.
That's fabulous.
And then, so once you have your hook, if you're using a hook, then you can glue on your backing as well.
That's just phenomenal.
And then from here, pretty much what's going to happen is you'll see that I'm going to cut it down a little bit tighter to the edges of the rug, and then I'll shave it.
Okay. Oh, that's just fabulous. Look at that.
And if you want to get like really detailed on the sides, you can use like a smaller hot glue gun to kind of like seal up the edges so that you can't see the tufting cloth sticking out from the sides.
Look at that. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this is the satisfying part.
That's just awesome.
And then for carving, that would be the next step after shaving. So you'll do your initial shave just to get it all nice and flat.
Yeah.
And then the carving process would be just separating your lines, making them clearly defined.
Look at that. Okay, I'm really fascinated with this. That's awesome. That is just awesome.
It's so much fun. It's really loud. Like the tufting gun is loud, and then also the shears are really loud too, and messy. So definitely have a vacuum on hand.
We like to make a mess.
I use the little rug brush as I'm going, just to get the bits out of my way.
I guess that's such nice defined dimension too.
Yeah, it makes it look nice and crisp and clean.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fabulous. Oh my goodness, that's just awesome.
Thank you so much.
That's just awesome. I'm really fascinated with this. You know, people can see different forms of rug making, and this is one that I have not known anybody that they do. You know, some people hook rugs, some people do like petty point and put them on rugs, or those kinds of things. And you know, I know some people that have done, you know, the old style latch hook rugs and things like that. My mother made braided rugs, but I've never seen somebody that does this. This is fabulous. This is fascinating to me in that it feels nice. You know, it feels nice, and you can. And I'm sitting here, and you can feel where the cut was made, where around the center of this flower. It's just stunning. It's just absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
How did you get into doing this? Why this?
Yeah, so I actually knew someone who was a rug tufter, and I reached out to him and asked if he was going to do any workshops or anything like that. He actually said yes, that he was planning to put something together. So as soon as he did, I signed up for his class, and I instantly fell in love with it.
Excellent.
So from there, originally before that, I was doing block printing, and then once I found rug tufting, I went all in. I bought all my materials and haven't looked back since.
Nice. And how long have you been doing this? How long have you been making these?
Believe it or not, only since January of 2023.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Well, you've got some amazing, amazing pieces here. I think this is, I think that this is something that people would really love to learn how to do. I know that, you know, there's other, like I said, there's other forms of these kinds of making rugs, but they take a long time. And I think for a nice small piece like this, I mean, somebody could have really a very adorable wall hanging to take home and hang it on their wall. I like the lemons that are sitting here. I think that's fabulous. I am absolutely in love with the leaf. That is just, that's just amazing. And the texture and the contours and the colors that you've used, absolutely amazing. Just wonderful.
You.
Just wonderful. I think that the Greater Fall River Art Association needs to welcome you as to the fiber show that we have scheduled for next year, and I would be very honored to have your work in our building. It will be February and March of next year, and I would love to, if we can figure out how to do it, make some time for you to teach a small class how to do exactly what this is, because this is something that's so unique and so fun.
I would love to. I would be honored.
I would love to be able to offer that. I just think these are fabulous. I'm going back to the days when I would, like I said, when I was a hippie. We used to paint these flowers all over. I mean, this is what we did all over everything. These lovely flowers all over, and I love that too. I love that. So I'll bite, sort of expense-wise. Just, I mean, just curious for somebody who might want to, you know, even think about it, because I'm assuming that you really can't. I'm sure at one time they were tufted by hand, but I'm sure that most people can't tuft by hand anymore. So just roughly, if somebody was really going to fire themselves up and dive into it, what is the?
Well, the gun itself, the tufting gun, is approximately $175 to $250.
Okay.
And then you'd be looking at buying all your yarn, which is about $4 each. The shears, I believe, were about $60.
That's not bad.
And then the tufting frame, I want to say, was about $100.
Right.
This one I'm not too sure yet. We're
Right.
figuring out price on that one.
But that's really, that. I mean, I was thinking you were going to tell me that the gun was a whole lot more. But it could be something that someone could actually afford to do. I mean, and come up with this amazing thing. And if you design your own, this seems like there is just no limit as to what you can do,
true.
except for your imagination.
That's right.
You know, that's fabulous. I think this is just the most amazing stuff.
Thank you.
So what else? So you said you did block printing. Do you do any
Yes.
block printing? Do you still do block printing?
I
or-
haven't since I started doing rug tufting. I've pretty much only been rug tufting with
That's
my free
wild.
time.
That's wild, because we also have people that love to block print. There's some artists that's another lost art. People don't do that as much anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a shame, because I used to, as I sit here, I used to do that too. Fabulous. I think this is awesome. So now this is like non-stick stuff on the back so that the
Yep.
rug doesn't go when you step on it.
Exactly.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I just think that that's fabulous. I think. So where do you see this going? Where do you want to take this art form?
So my rugs are available at Viva Fall River, the
Okay.
maker shop.
Yeah.
I'd also love to eventually maybe do like some pop-up events.
Yep.
Put them in fairs if I can. I would love to have a gallery, like display them in a gallery at some point. These are all my goals.
There you go. Well, like I said, the Greater Fall River Art Association would welcome you to the main gallery with our fiber art show, and I'm thinking that we have, you know, we can hang some, we can put some on the in other places. I probably wouldn't put them on the ground because it's the winter time, and somebody will come in with muddy feet, even though we ask them to wipe their paws. But I think that this would be something that a lot of people would absolutely think is just amazing, and I definitely fiber. And look at me, I'm still petting this thing. It's just, you know, it just feels really nice on your hands, and I'm like, my little toes would really love to be walking
Oh,
on this. You know what I mean? It's just a wonderful
Absolutely.
thing. It's just a wonderful thing. Is there any limit as to the size that you can do, or is it just limited by the frame?
So it's just limited by the frame. So this one I'll be able to do about 5 feet or so.
That's amazing. And what would you think would be time on getting something like that done?
I think I could probably get it done in maybe 12 hours.
Really?
The tufting part.
The tufting part.
But then from there, you know, you have the gluing and the shaving and all that, so that also takes time. But the actual tufting part, I'd say about 12 hours for 5 foot.
Really? That's
I
just
already have a
fascinating.
lot of plans in my mind for the big ones
Oh, I
I'm going to
bet you
make.
do.
I want to do like a runner for
Oh,
my kitchen.
nice. Yes.
I want to do like 2 runners that will kind of like attach to each other.
Okay.
That'll be a cool piece.
That'd be very cool.
I'm very inspired by like the 70s aesthetic, so it'll definitely be like wavy and colorful.
Groovy.
Yes, groovy, that's for sure.
I love it. I do. I think that's a fabulous, and that of course is coming back. You know, the 70s are making a comeback. Everybody wants a Volkswagen Bug that
That's
you
right.
can't buy anymore, or the Volkswagen van that you definitely can't buy anymore. But I think that that's a fabulous idea, and I think that this is an opportunity for people to learn a lost art. I mean, this is something that people used to do and don't do anymore.
Right.
And I think that that's fabulous. I think, what do they say, what's old is new again?
Yeah.
And I think it's fabulous. In terms of your fabric, if you don't have monk cloth, or if you can't find this, is there something else? I mean, can you use canvas, or is it too hard to get it through
I
there?
wouldn't use canvas.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to use something that does have gaps
Okay.
so that it can get through.
Okay.
So I would say either monk's cloth or primary tufting cloth.
Okay. I was just curious because I'm looking going, yeah, that probably would work, but not really.
Yeah, this one has a good amount of separation in between.
Nice.
So.
And is the goal of the gun to try to get it in between this, or are you just
No,
going to go?
you just go.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's just
Do you
fascinating.
want to?
I would
want
love.
me to
Yeah.
pull the trigger?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you always want to have your hands on both of these here
Okay.
for safety. You got a little toggle on the side.
Yeah.
And
Look at that. That is fascinating to me.
it's fun.
That is just so fascinating. I could see that being done in a class. I think that would be a really fun thing, and it's not so expensive that it would price somebody out of being able to do it. Like, if they came to a class that we would absolutely love to offer for you, and have you teach people how to use the gun and how to do these things, I think that it's not so cost prohibitive that somebody couldn't go and get their own gun
Right.
and do something and enjoy and have fun with that. I think that that's fascinating to me. That is just so fascinating to me. I can't even begin to tell you. I am in love with all of these things. I am so happy. And like I said, we will be very happy to welcome you to this show. And we will absolutely pair up and get an opportunity for people to learn how to do this going for you.
That would be
absolutely,
awesome.
without question, without question.
Thank you.
Just think it's fabulous. So right now, where can people find you at the Beaver Maker Shop?
Yep.
Do you have website, all that
So
fun stuff?
I'm on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
It's at Smugg Rugs.
Oh, cool.
Smugg with 2 G's. So SMUGG Rugs.
Okay.
So you can find me there, give me a follow, and at Viva Fall River.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's just fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing this. I really, really have enjoyed this. I'd be like the first to sign up for the class because I'm just sitting, like I said, I'm just sitting here going, these are fabulous.
Yes, you can make your own.
I could make my own, and I could have it like remind me of. Like I said,
That'd be fun.
it does. It I mean, I'm a child of the '70s, so I remember this. I remember this. I remember these on the wall. My mother used to hate that because you'd put them on the wall, and then when you go to try to pull them off, you're ripping the wallpaper off.
Right,
but this is just, this brings back my childhood, and there's enough of us of this age who remember this. I think this is awesome. And like I said, I welcome you to the Art Association.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you so
anytime.
much.
And we'll figure out how to make that work.
Yeah, we'll be in touch for sure.
Absolutely. No question in my mind. So I just want to say thank you to Fall River Community Access TV for allowing us to meet and put this together. I'm very pleased, like I said, to welcome you to the Art Association. Anytime.
And thank you for having me.
Always
this was awesome.
my pleasure. Always my pleasure. We are always looking for new and innovative and different things, especially in the gallery. It's in a big old house, so the antiqueness of the house, it was built in 1906, combined with this, it's a wonderful opportunity.
Fun.
I appreciate it. It'd be really fun. So thank you so much.
Thank
I appreciate
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's gonna go.